Hey guys, I'm Anderson9132, and I'm the Robot Wars Guru. In my last video, I did my list of the top 10 Series 2 episodes, which was a struggle. Still, watching Series 2 back and making that video did make me realise something. Even the worst series of Robot Wars had some good things to offer, even if you had to look at things with a fine-toothed comb. Sadly, it's the same ordeal with the battles of Series 2. Most of them are just rubbish with ridiculous house robot interference. Being honest, it was really hard finding fights worth calling battles. However, when looking back at them, there were several iconic and memorable fights. I'll admit some of it is straw clutching, but if it's worth mentioning, it has to have some sort of quality to it. Remember, these battles aren't arguably good ones, they're just the ones that stood out from the rest, due to one reason or another. Take them with a pinch of salt. That's slowly becoming the slogan for Series 2, isn't it? Number 10, Internet Insurrection. The Grudge Match special was interesting. You could argue it was a premonition of what Robot Wars Extreme would be in a few years' time. It had vengeance battles, side events, and some silly moments too. But by far the best bit about this episode was the Internet Insurrection. 4 robots, Body Hammer, Griffin, Corporal Punishment, and Kilohertz all battled it out to see who had the best website. The ultimate bragging right, I'm sure you'll all agree. However, someone must have forgot to give them the memo, because aside from this lunge attack from Corporal Punishment at the beginning of the battle, all 4 robots ignored each other and attacked the house robots. This was a house robot rebellion 3 years before the concept was dreamed up, and it was bloody good fun. Now I know it's really hard to call it a battle, but let's be real here. If a battle is going to be contested over who has the best website, it has to be a daft fight. The main reason I like this one is we got to see both Griffin and Body Hammer do really well, making up for their unfortunate early departures in the series. Seeing Griffin take out Bash and Body Hammer beaching Dead Metal certainly were highlights too. Number 9, Panic Attack vs Whirling Dervish. This might be a bit of a woke choice, but hear me out. This was one of the very few legit KOs of the series, with Panic Attack doing what it did best in using good driving to topple over the spinning circle. I was originally going to put GBH vs Talos here for the same reasons, but chose this battle instead for 2 reasons. The first is Panic Attack's KO of Whirling Dervish is way more impressive. Talos was an easy target for GBH's big scoop to flip over, whilst Whirling Dervish's odd shape and Panic Attack's small lifting forks meant it was more of a difficult task for Panic Attack to accomplish. The other is what happened after. Cease was immediately called the second Talos was flipped, but in this battle, not only did the house robots have some fun with the defeated Dervish, but Panic Attack had fun pummeling Bash into submission. Oh, and Whirling Dervish put up a way better fight too. Number 8, KILLERTRON vs BEHEMOTH. This was a very one-sided fight, but if a fight is going to be one-sided, it better have one robot caving in another robot's face. That's exactly what we got here, with KILLERTRON's mighty pickaxe pounding its way into the top of BEHEMOTH, shattering its top armour. This might look like nothing today, but at the time this was the equivalent of Terahertz pounding the crap out of Smidsy. Also, the fight features one of the more unique methods for an axe-related KO. This fight was short, but certainly sweet. Number 7, Panic Attack vs CASSIUS. It's fitting that this battle made it onto the list, with it being the grand final and all. Not only that, but it's the first traditional one-on-one final that went on to become the norm. The best 2 robots of the series, sort of, meeting in the last battle of the series to crown the champion, just as it should be. And it was over in under a minute and the robots came into contact about 8 times. Okay, so that doesn't sound great, but there are a few things that salvage it. First of all, whilst the contact was minimal, it was engaging. Seeing Panic Attack fly over Cassius was an awesome visual, and seeing the underdog Panic Attack actually out-pushing the fancied Cassius was incredible. The lack of house robot interference was nice too, with the house robots deciding to let the robots decide the winner for themselves. But what really puts it on the list is the immense upset win. Seeing Panic Attack, a robot that fought for the honour of charity might I add, out-driving and pitting the 1,000,000-to-1 favourite is one of the best wins in the early series. Again, this fight isn't much to talk about these days, but at the time, this was huge. It would be like seeing Duck take out Bite Force in BattleBots. Number 6, RAZER vs Inquisitor. This fight was just madness. With Body Hammer out, the impressive deadly looking RAZER quickly became the favourite to win the heat, especially after it bossed both the Gauntlet and Trial stages. So to see it lose, despite utterly dominating the opening moments of the battle, was incredible television. Talk about twists and turns. This was also our first viewing into the kind of damage to expect from RAZER. Sure, I'm not RAZER's biggest fan, but I can't deny just how iconic this battle is for that reason alone, and I can't begin to describe the magnitude of this upset. Sure, it was a fluke, but it was a memorable fluke as the Razor curse hit for the first of 3 fucking times. Add to that Razor catching fire and you have a memorable mad battle that no one would forget soon. Number 5. Chaos vs WHEELOSAURUS. Again, this isn't on the list so much for the battle, but what happened in it. Let's be real here, Chaos pushing WHEELOSAURUS twice and winning after it broke down isn't exactly great robot combat. However, what followed it sure was. Earlier in the heat, WHEELOSAURUS somehow managed to cause serious damage to Sergeant Bash, using its spikes to rip off Bash's flamethrower. Not only that, but Chaos beat Dead Metal in the tug of war, pitting him. So after WHEELOSAURUS broke down, we had the pleasure of seeing Shunt and Matilda buggering it from all angles in revenge for their comrade. Even better though was Chaos and Dead Metal having one hell of a duel. Dead Metal wanted revenge and Chaos was happy to take him on. Yeah, the battle itself wasn't great, but seeing the house robots go rampant for revenge was good fun, and we even saw Dead Metal start stripping. What more could you want? Number 4. CASSIUS vs LOCO. Take what I just said about Chaos vs WHEELOSAURUS, make the battle slightly better and amplify the house robot Shizzle McFizzle by 1000 and you get this battle. Realistically, LOCO had no chance against CASSIUS and it was inevitably quick to lose, but they still put up a bit of a fight. Also, this is one of the few legit KOs of the series, without having to rely on breakdowns and pesky house robots. Speaking of, Rex Garrett had no issues with hiding his disdain for the house robots and was happy to take them on. All 4 of them. What followed was a minute of CASSIUS taking them to their limit and flipping over Matilda. Hell, it took all of them to take CASSIUS out. Now that's awesome. Number 3. ROADBLOCK vs KILLERTRON. Thus far, all the battles on this list have made it via technicalities or iconic moments. From this point forward though, they are genuinely good battles in their own right. This was the first instance of a true grudge match from the previous series where ROADBLOCK defeated KILLERTRON in the heat final. With both robots having suffered a loss in the previous round, both were eager to get stuck in and get their clout back. And that's exactly what they did, with ROADBLOCK bossing the wheelie bin lid all over the arena. Seriously, there wasn't a part of the arena that was not utilised in this fight. KILLERTRON was no slouch mind, coming out guns a-blazing and swinging that big pickaxe down every chance it had. Even the house robots couldn't get involved despite trying their hardest to. All in all, it was slightly one-sided, but seeing ROADBLOCK being a beast one last time before it was retired was a glorious thing to witness. Number 2. RoboDoc vs King Buxton. 101 vs King Buxton is one of the best remembered rivalries in Robot Wars, along with Tornado vs Razor, Panic Attack vs Firestorm and Apollo vs Carbide, and this is where it all started. The battle that kick-started the first great rivalry in the show's history was a belter for sure. In a series where all you had to do was win was to push your opponent into the PPZ, these two took that ideology and laughed in its face. Both robots gave it their all and put on one hell of a fight, using great driving skill and tactics to avoid each other's attacks and to gain the advantage. And RoboDoc almost being pitted only to push back both Matilda and King Buxton was a moment that had viewers on the edge of their seats. The house robots tried to interfere but failed miserably as both robots smashed into each other until the final klaxon sounded. Unlike most battles that went to the judges this series, which were dull, slow snooze fests, this battle was fast paced and full of action from beginning to end. Number 1. ROADBLOCK vs King Buxton. It seems fitting that 2 robots from the previous 2 entries on this list are in the best fight of the series in my opinion. This was a genuine surprise to me because I remember this fight being a dud. Boy was I wrong. This battle ticked a lot of my boxes. A good underdog giving the favourite a run for its money? Check. A good tactical battle? Check. Excellent driving control? Check. The favourite narrowly winning after a tough fight? Check. Some decent damage for the time at least? Check. This battle had us seeing King Buxton and ROADBLOCK give each other their all, constantly hitting each other with attack after attack and trying to outdo one another. It was incredibly close and dare I say it, but I feel King Buxton was slightly on top before it broke down. Seeing ROADBLOCK having to use its saw to wear down King Buxton's wheels was masterful tactical driving and you can't say it didn't work. Even King Buxton breaking down was interesting due to its smoking and catching fire, making it one of the more memorable breakdowns of the series. This was easily ROADBLOCK's toughest fight and without doubt the best battle of the series. And that's it for this list and this video. Do you agree with me or do you think I'm a melon? What are your favourite battles of Series 2? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Anderson913, the Robot Wars Guru, and I'll see you next time.